This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Game Time, and we're here to have some good times and possibly some bad times. I see
what's that supposed to mean?
I mean, I see you're back again. Every time you come back, you disrupt this show, and you tied up poor Glenn.
Well, you know what? He's a shill. I'm hearing you're a shill. A lot of shills around here. I'm trying to make sure you shills stay in check.
Well, listen, I mean, he's trying to build a business. He comes on here and talks about the Build-Decade, but he's trying to build a business.
You ever see his stuff? It's garbage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Neeglin.
His intros are really long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his intros are real long in the tooth. Wow, Bill, you're back from the Comic-Con in New York.
Yes, I am.
And you got a lot of haters.
Ugh.
Well, show everybody why you have a lot of haters. You got the new
special Super Mario Brothers shirt.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. And then we have one other panel member.
Oh, why isn't it coming on? What's going? Oh my God, my whole system's working.
Oh, Glenn. Glenn's messing with your stuff. Oh, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Game Time proudly brings to you the retro woman of the world, Jade Sheeline. What's going on, guys? We got to work on that. We got to practice that a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, Neeglin, can you do us a favor and just kind of slide it over a little bit? I know what
you're going to say. Move over.
Well, listen, you at least work with me, unlike the other guy. I can at least say that. But, guys, before we get started here, because we're all in a good mood, we're all excited, and unfortunately, we have to bring up some bad news. There was a member in the community that had an unfortunate accident, I think in the last day or so. And we want to show you guys this. We do not want any super chats tonight. If you're going to do any kind of super chat or anything like that, please go over here to this GoFundMe that Jade's going to put inside of the chat room. Midlife Arcade had an accident, and you could see his garage where he kept his arcades, his game room was trashed. So, you know, we don't ask for any money on this show. We don't do any of that stuff, but we know what kind of a community we have here. We watched him raise it for Glenn. We watched you guys. We put a $10,000 goal in there. Jade, you put it all up on there and got this thing organized here. So where can they get access to this? I mean, I can put it in the chat, but.
So I just put up a link in the chat, and I will be putting up a link on Twitter as well. You know, any help for Midlife is going to be greatly appreciated. I know he's like very humble about it. So anyways, I will post a link on Twitter. If you guys can please share and retweet that, and let's get him as much help as we can, because we all know we're going into the holiday season, and you know, it's just a tough time for everyone. So whatever you can do to help is going to be greatly appreciated. And yeah, that's all we can do. But we're a community here, so let's do this.
And we're unaware. I know a lot of guys are asking about insurance, and we are unaware at this time if there is insurance or anything like that. But I know when it comes to retro games, and I know this from my own home policy, I have a specific rider on my policy. A lot of times homeowners insurance doesn't cover your games at a specific amount. So what they'll do is they'll say, you have $100,000 in homeowners insurance. Once you hit that, you're kind of on your own. So if, let's say you have a game that's worth, $5,000. Well, that comes right off your $100,000 cap. So that doesn't cover like any of your garage, like in his case, his garage doors, windows, things of that nature. This money's going directly to him. We don't, like I said, don't super chat. Do not do any of that tonight. If you were going to super chat, even if it's $2, go over and help this guy out. And
Actually, you know what? If you got $2, as a kid keep coming here for newspapers, I owe him $2. He keeps coming here every week. 10 papers, 2 weeks. That's $2 cash. Says it every time.
Okay, but just to caveat with what Steven said, we are not doing this like we're doing this without putting like conditions on it. We're just doing this for him. He's a part of the community, and regardless of what happens, whether we meet the goal or not, it's gonna help. So one way or another. So that's the bottom line. Nobody has to do anything.
That's right.
If you want to, then please do it. But nobody's obligated to do anything. But you guys know that it's going to be helpful. So
the only thing we're asking is that if you were going to super chat tonight, do not super chat. Put that money towards this. That's this is something we mentioned a couple of weeks ago that we really wanted to help people in the community if there was a way that we could do that, and we want the money to go directly to him without having any kind of Google expenses and things like that. So appreciate any help that you guys can do for him and kind of get that going. I'm sorry we had to start the show a little bit on the sad side, but let's do a little make or break. Let's start off with a little make or break because I think you guys will be interested in seeing this one.
Make or break.
Welcome to another episode of Make or Break. Today, we want to ask the question, did Nintendo make or break the GameCube? As the GameCube gets older, the value continues to skyrocket. Also, adding the ability to play Game Boy games on the system made this console in real demand. Did Nintendo make or break this console?
Nintendo GameCube.
So before we get to this, I just have to address one super chat because some people just do not know how to follow instructions.
Guy after my own heart.
Some people just, I guess it's just not clear. No, we love you, P-Dubs. $2 from P-Dubs. I'm a rebel. A rebel without a cause. All right, guys. Did Nintendo make or break this console? Let's start with Wild Bill. Wild Bill, did they make or break it?
I like the GameCube. Typical Nintendo fashion, they had to go in a different direction from everybody else with those, mini CDs or mini discs that they use. When everybody else is using like full-size CDs for theirs, they have to have this proprietary disc for everything. And of course, it's too bad that, once you move to disc, now you're killing backward compatibility for everything else. But then again, none of their other consoles up to that point, nobody really talked about backwards compatibility. I liked it. I think the controller is fantastic. It's one of their better controllers for sure. I mean, people still love using those GameCube controllers, and they had a lot of great games on that. I know people like to diss on Mario Sunshine as not one of the better Mario games, but I always liked that game. The Metroid Prime games were great. Smash Brothers on it is fantastic. So I'm going to call it a make. I think it's a good console.
So you think Nintendo made it? Okay. All right. Let's go, Neeglin. This is your chance to shine.
Well, I got to say, I also agree with Bill. I loved the GameCube. And I also agree they had to be a little bit different. Had to be Nintendo, go to the smaller discs. And what's kind of weird was the Dreamcast kind of did the same thing. They had full-size discs, but they were gigabyte discs, so they were larger. But for some reason, the cute little discs in there was just adorable. So I like the GameCube. I think it did fairly well for Nintendo's first foray into optical technology, because before that it was just cartridges. So I give it it was cute. It was a small little machine in there. It's cute. I said it's a make.
Okay. Jade, you were the inspiration behind this make or break this week. What's your thoughts?
So I have, first of all, Glenn, I'm very surprised by your answer. I feel like Glenn wouldn't have answered that way, but
Glenn's tied up in the back. He can't talk.
But so the GameCube, yes, it was very different. And I remember when it first came out, being kind of like into PC at that time when graphics cards were really starting to get like bigger and better and stuff, and ATI and NVIDIA and what was it? What was the Voodoo? 3DFX. All that was kind of going on. And Power VR, right? Because Dreamcast had Power VR, Naomi. Anyways, so the thing that appealed to me about it was that, it was supposed to be able to compete with the Dreamcast. When I got it, I think that there was some good games on it. And when I say good games, I mean Metroid Prime, eventually when they came out with a lot of the Zelda games and the remasters. So there was a lot of good games for it. But the GameCube itself, I feel like didn't have quite enough third-party support, and that eventually it kind of like slowly fizzled out because it just wasn't a sustainable console in its format, and the fact that it was unconventional. So in a sense, I feel like Nintendo actually kind of broke the GameCube in the sense that they could have done more in the beginning with the overall design and employment of the console to make it last longer.
I would agree with you. I think Nintendo did break this console, especially since at the time Game Boy games were all the rave, and if you saw it, I actually have the Game Boy attachment for it. It was the only way that you could play Game Boy.
Would you get it for $2? No,
I won't tell you how much I got it for. The only other way that you were able to play that was with Super Game Boy, but you could do, Game Boy Advance games. You could play it on, better hardware per se. I agree with you. I think that Nintendo could have utilized it a lot better, and they didn't. But a lot of the games, Metroid Prime, I mean, there's a lot of good games. Resident Evil games were really good on the GameCube.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil. There's another.
Resident Evil was phenomenal on.
Come on, look, come on. You gotta love every. You gotta love a console that comes with a handle, though. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I just think that there wasn't enough support from Nintendo in the end, like towards the middle and the end, and that's kind of what broke it. And I feel like if you look at the PlayStation 2, like at the time, if you compared it to other consoles like PlayStation 2 versus the GameCube, there was really nothing that it had to hold over the PS2 for the most part. The PS2 is a much more powerful system that could outlast it in the long run. And even from a gimmicky standpoint, there wasn't much. Like the Switch has its portability and its docking, So, and there's a lot of other things with the backwards compatibility, but the GameCube didn't have any of that backwards compatibility or anything. PS2 also had backwards compatibility.
Well, let's talk about this really quick. Also with the GameCube, if you guys are collectors, that is a system to collect for right now, and the reason for it, the value keeps going up and up, because once these discs are out of circulation, and I mean even in the pre-bought circulation, the pre-owned, these games can't be resurfaced. You go to any of the retro game stores and they're like, we can't resurface them. I don't know if it's Glenn, do you happen to have inside information as to? I know Glenn would know, but why you can't resurface these discs, or why they don't try to resurface them?
I don't know if they can't. I mean, the disc is a disc, but the smaller format may have less people working on it because obviously it's a proprietary disc size.
Mm-hmm.
But to be quite honest, these days, like Papa Brad said in there, you get yourself a little mod chip, an SD card at the bottom. It's easy to mod, and you load the ISOs, so the games themselves will still be preserved, even if you don't have the original media anymore.
Yeah, the media is going up and up in value. Luigi's Mansion, that's another really good game. And that's got some life. I don't know if you guys have played it on the Switch. Glenn has his in his bag, but that's a really good game. I play that a lot on my Switch.
Wind Waker's a great game.
Wind Waker, yeah. There's a lot of really good, and honestly, Mario Sunshine. Like you said, I think a lot of people, shot that down, but that's got some. I mean, Nintendo re-released it on the Switch, so I mean, it's got some. If you're a Mario fan, you're gonna own it. It's got some collectability.
Was it F-Zero X? There was an F-Zero on there that was really good. Was it
X?
X?
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, because originally the F-Zero X expansion was supposed to come out on the DD drive on N64, and which they did come out with an expansion, but I think F-Zero X was kind of like, or GX, it was GX, right?
GX, that's right.
Yep.
I think that was kind of like a remaster, and also they had like all the additions that they wanted to continue to do on the DD drive or whatever it was. There's some sort of tie in there. I know that for sure.
Really quick, a Midlife Arcade just came in, and he says, how's everybody doing? I was doing an intake, so I couldn't get to my computer. I'm all caught up and just have to say y'all are awesome. I'm just happy to be here, and it means a lot. So, again, that's the gentleman that Jade's got the GoFundMe set up for. Anything you can do to help him out. Get him a GameCube. I joke, but
like I already have it.
Yeah, he's probably got it. But what I do think is cool about the GameCube is the size of it. It's just very simple to box. But again, I've been finding myself collecting more and more for the GameCube because the games are rare, and they're very hard to find. You go to any retro gaming store, unless somebody like kept it in pristine condition, it's very hard to find them in almost complete.
Well, a lot of times the GameCube actually went to younger kids, right?
True, that's a good point.
They lost the manuals, the box got teeth marks in it, and the discs were scratched all over the place because
you guys,
it was cute looking. So people bought it, mostly for the kids.
Yeah.
When I was like in my early 20s, maybe, or
so last week.
Wait, 19. No, that I was in my teens last week.
Oh, she got you.
I used to know this. I used to know this girl, and she'd have her friends over, and she had a GameCube, and they'd all like drink beers and stuff like that and play the GameCube. So it wasn't just for kids. Remember, that commercial appealed to the hip crowd.
Yeah, that's.
I remember Trix wasn't for kids.
And Roger,
because you could.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, because you can hook up 4 controllers to it, so you get I think that was the whole start of the Smash Brothers craze.
Well, you could do that on the Nintendo 64 too.
And
I'm going to give you trivia
and the
right
Dreamcast.
now. Trivia for all of you three right now. What was the first console to give you 4 controller ports built in?
The first 4.
Yep, first 4.
Let me think about it.
Oh man!
Don't hurt yourself.
No, I know I own it. It wasn't.
I bet you don't.
I would say it had to be the TurboGrafx 16 with the Turbo Tap.
No,
God,
wait,
hold on.
wait. We're not. No, we're talking about organic, right?
Oh, organic, right on the system. Is that what you're talking about?
On the system, built
On
in.
the actual
first
system?
console have 4 built in.
Yeah, because Nintendo it wasn't built in.
I
but
want
it
to
was-
say like Neo
Yeah.
Geo, like
No, Neo
no.
Geo only had 2, and so did the
no,
Panasonic
I
3DO.
mean, yeah, not the Neo Geo, but never mind.
It's got to be
I'm
like
I'm
maybe
just digging myself into a hole.
Coleco, one of the Coleco.
Yeah, I feel like it's very old.
Yeah. All right,
I feel
Neeglen.
like it's like as old as
Yeah, wait.
Neeglen.
Bill hasn't even given an answer.
Oh, Bill, come on,
Bill?
save us, Bill.
I don't know. I'm stumped.
All right, before Glenn.
Really?
And N64,
No, we already said that.
No.
We already said that.
No, it
Atari
wasn't that.
5200.
No,
You
it
know what I'm
wasn't.
going to do? Instead of tell you the answer, people in the chat, put in there where you say is the first console released that had 4 controller ports built in. Someone's got to know this. If Wolfenau's out there, I'm sure he's going to know.
Yeah,
But so far,
might be.
you 3 disappoint me. Really disappoint me.
So we had a super chat here. Ezekiel, the Chicago Retro Ranger, says, "Hey, everybody! I got my Marvel vs. Capcom 2 today. I can't wait to mod it." That's spoken like a true modder.
Mod it. What? Mod it.
Well, he has to fix everything that's broken. I mean, come on. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
Ouchies.
Some of that stuff you can't fix with modding.
No, this is true. But
Alfred
was
Bergen
it
said
the Odyssey?
That was wrong.
That's
no,
not
that is
it.
That is a
Zero Hero says 3DO. No, it definitely wasn't the 3DO. I know that for a fact because I have a 3DO.
CDI.
CDI. It was not the CDI. Atari Jaguar did not have. It,
No.
I know it wasn't the Atari.
God, I know what it is. I'm gonna be so pissed when you
Atari
say the answer,
5200.
because I really
Craig
know.
says
that was close, and probably most people would say that, but that is still
7800. 5400.
Valley Astro.
Come on, Neeglen. It doesn't even exist.
oh.
I'm just throwing it out there. Who got it? Who got it?
Who said that?
I'm waiting for the chat to catch up.
Valley Astrocade.
That is the correct answer. 1979 Valley Astrocade or Astrovision. It had so many different names. Or the Professional
Wow.
Arcade. Who
I-
got that?
I just want to say, besides that
I
cricket
did. I
going.
googled
Jade
it.
said it.
Oh,
You
Jay said.
cheated.
I was just gonna say I want to say I'm disappointed with all of you. It took you that long to Google it. Really? Do you guys not know how to use Google? I was waiting for it. Zero Hero says the Radio Shack. No, I probably, in all seriousness, I probably wouldn't have gone all the way back that far. I would have probably said Nintendo only because they had that hub. But if you're talking native,
Built in. Yeah, the Atari,
Yeah, the
everyone would have
native.
said the 5200
yeah,
for a console, and that was pretty close, but that came out in 1981. But the Astrocade was 1979. It was actually supposed to come out in 77, the same year as the 2600,
Glenn,
but it got delayed.
Jade and I, we weren't born yet in '77, so I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there to you. Just,
Yeah, isn't that when people had like pet dinosaurs?
I think so.
Dino was awesome, and you guys missed
That's
out.
when people, when they played video games, the ball was actually square. Fred Flintstone didn't chisel the like a circle.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, like the abacus.
Yeah, when you played Pong, you had rectangles that went up and down with a square ball that went back and forth, and that's essentially all it could do.
All right, I see you, the three I
Oh,
got
boy.
here tonight. Okay, I see who I got here tonight.
Well, see, since you're knee Glenn, we gotta give you a hard time because you got Glenn tied up back there. How dare you?
That's where he belongs. He's been shilling his build-a-cade for like weeks, man. He can shut up about that thing, man. I mean, it's all he talks about. I mean, it's great and everything, but be quiet about it, man.
On that note, let's take a quick look at some AtGames news if we can do that without getting Neeglen mad at us and calling us shills. We'll be check this out.
AtGames news and notes.
All right, so the news this week for AtGames, I know a lot of you guys have been looking into some of the hardware and software for AtGames, and some of you guys are like, yeah, I'm not really interested, but some of you maybe. Look at AtGames right now all the way through the 15th. You have until the October 15th at 6 p.m. up to 60% off of hardware, Jade, for the Legends Ultimate, as well as some of the other pinball tables, as well as the Pinball Micro, the Ultimate
Has
Mini.
anyone bought the Pinball Micro? Does anyone have that one?
I think P-Dubs pre-ordered it. I think a few other. I didn't pre-order it.
What is the point of that?
For people that don't have room, you can just set it on a tabletop or whatever.
How big is it? It's $50.
It's a 24-inch screen, from my understanding, and I think
24 inches.
Yeah, well, the screen is, and then the back glass I think is 10 inches. I
Oh,
believe.
for $50.
No, that's how much is the
that's
down
additional
payment.
artwork. That's additional artwork.
It's about 400 or
Oh.
I think it's $400 or $500, $449 or something. But you can get, here you go, Jade, $459 for the Legends Ultimate. You can
Ooh,
buy it
that's
right
getting
now.
close. Getting close to $350. Yeah, but then I have to pay another $175 for shipping.
Listen, I'm
Yeah.
trying to help you out here. But
And
anyways,
yet they cannot put that
Even
pinball machine on sale.
yeah,
I know,
killing
it's
me.
going up in
I think
actually,
you
price is
should-
going the other way.
it's
Tell me
$799.
about
That's
it.
cheap. It was $1,000.
Yeah, it's still.
Yeah, it was $6.99 or $5.99 originally, wasn't it?
When it first came out. Jade, what were you gonna say?
I think you should reiterate the super chat thing.
Yeah,
We have one
guys.
from Hobby Hands.
So I know some of the guys showed up late. Listen, instead of super chatting tonight, we have Jade set up a GoFundMe for one of our community members who had a terrible accident with his arcade and setup here. We'd rather you guys go and
garage.
yeah, in his garage, Midlife Arcade. If you guys can go over, instead of super chatting us, go over and donate to this cause. That would be great. We wanna help out those that are in the community right now. We do appreciate you guys. A lot of you guys are very giving. So this is a way we can give back to the community with this as well. So,
We did have one. We did have a super chat just
Did I
now
miss-
from
did I
Hobby
miss-
Hands, though. So if you want to just bring that one up.
go ahead and read it. I'll pull it.
My local Best Buy is selling Blitz for $3.99. Crazy.
Oh, that is crazy.
That is crazy.
But we knew that was coming, though.
What?
We knew that was coming.
I mean, that's a fast discount.
Hey, Steven, you got yours yet? That you pre-ordered?
We're not going to talk about that right now. Actually, actually, we are going to talk about that right now. Let's take a look at some Arcade 1-Up news.
Arcade 1-Up. News and notes.
You can sprinkle, you can do whatever you want with it. So a lot of you guys thought by the title, because I seen it in some of the groups, you're like, broken. Really? I put that on the card, and everybody's like, yeah, we already know the internet's broken on it. We already know we can't play online, but that's not what I'm talking about when I say broken. Really. I've been following, because I pre-ordered from Arcade 1-Up on Wave 2, which I expected I expected not to get it till later. I didn't expect to get it until December, but I mean, that's besides the point. But what I've been watching is guys that were on the gun, that were on the ball. They pre-ordered September 8th. Some of them, like Jade, got their pre-orders already. And I think it's maybe a couple dozen people. Then there's others that I've been seeing today.
Because I got it from Walmart.
Because you got it from Walmart. Well, yeah, and we can get into some of those places. There's some other people that I've seen that were like on the ball, ordered it from like Target or Best Buy or even Walmart. And Walmart didn't get it from day one, but it was like the day after. But they were in Wave 1. They still haven't gotten it. And people from Wave 2 are getting their cabinets before the guys in Wave 1. Now, some could sit here and say, well, you know what? You just got to be patient. You know, a pre-order doesn't guarantee that you're going to get it first. No, but I would expect if you were in the first wave and you pre-ordered, you should be getting it first. And here's the kicker, because I know what everybody's going to say. They're going to throw it out there. Well, that's up to the retailers. Not exactly. Some of the screenshots that I've seen in the groups have been like Best Buy and some of the others are saying they're waiting on Arcade 1-Up to send them the shipment. How? How do you screw this up? You're telling all these guys to pre-order, and then and you could say, you know, Arcade 1UP could come to the defense and say, well, you know what, guys, we have no control over who gets these cabinets, who gets it sent to them. As far as retailers, that's all in distribution. But when the businesses are saying we're waiting for Arcade 1UP to send us product, what does that mean? Some are even saying that right now they don't even have a ship time, and if they do get a ship time, if it's not shipped within 2 days, their order is going to be canceled, and then they're back to zero.
I think the lesson that we've learned here is pre-order from Walmart.
Well, to be fair, Walmart wasn't up day one, because you know I was waiting for that.
Right, but I was too. And the minute Walmart popped up, I was like, boom, give me some of that Walmart. And I canceled all my other pre-orders.
Yeah.
I was like, because I already know every single time Walmart either ships early or they're the first ones to ship.
B-Kong with the raid. Really appreciate you guys coming in here. If you're in here, we're talking about the failure that is the Arcade 1UP pre-order and how a lot of people, and I'm not talking about me.
To 10K subs. 10K subs for B-Kong.
Yes, if we can, we want to get B-Kong to 10K. Yep. He always does really cool giveaways, and I've seen some super chats coming in. Again, we want this, instead of super chatting, we want you to go to that fundraiser to help a fellow community member. That would be awesome. But we do want to get, and Jade, if you can put that link in the chat room again for that fundraiser, guys, we'd really appreciate if you could donate, even if it's $1, even if it's $2, to help him out to get his arcade back from the unfortunate accident that happened. To fix his garage and all that stuff. But I think there's more problems to this, and there never seems to be a smooth pre-order launch. I've watched guys, 19K Fox, he had his order canceled, and now he ordered from Home Depot, and I don't know if you guys saw his latest video, where now it's in limbo. They don't know when they're going to ship it. Neeglin, pre-orders. You know, when somebody pre-orders a product, do you take all the full amount of money, or do you just have a deposit? How does it work for your company or Glenn's company?
But the way that it works, I understand, is you put your pre-order, but you're not charged until it's shipping time, which is the way it should be. You shouldn't be. I mean, I can understand sometimes $50 to hold it to make sure people don't pre-order, you know, and they don't actually pay for it when the time comes. But it should be a very small amount, or not at all until it ships.
Then that's how GameStop does. Bill, you've been following it as well. I know. I've been seeing. What's your take on this whole thing? Am I blowing this out of proportion? I mean, like I said, this isn't about me. I knew going into it I wasn't getting it till December, but I feel bad for the guys that were there crunching the computer, because I had it in my cart day one, and I just didn't pull the trigger. Jade yelled at me 15 times. But these other guys, man, they were smashing it. What's your thoughts?
I'll tell you, it's been a weird whirlwind of emotion. Oh, it looks like we got a new subscriber.
Yes, thank you over there on Twitch. Appreciate
Why is
that.
it cut off though?
I have to readjust it. Don't worry about it. I'm still working on it.
This is the third episode.
You know what? Listen,
here we go.
you gave me crap about your logo. I fixed that. I'm one person here. Come on now.
Hey, you said I have to give you crap every episode. So.
All right. Don't interrupt, Bill. Let's go.
Thought I smelled something.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Bill. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all good. So, yeah. So, I wound up getting in on it. Oh, here she goes. Got to do it. I was waiting for it.
Oh, my.
Okay, I'm done.
All right. So, you freaked me, Jade. You freaked me out so much after the first round that I said when it comes around for a second round, I'm going to do the pre-order on it. And I wound up actually jumping in on it from Best Buy the day before the official second round of pre-orders. I just happened to go on Best Buy on Wednesday. It was available. I said, I'm going to grab it. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to grab it. So I did. And then by later that afternoon, it was showing coming soon again. So, but then like through the whole weekend and early this week, it was, pre-ordered. We don't know when it's supposed to ship. It went from that to preparing to ship to delayed. And if they can't ship it by, I think, the 26th, they're going to cancel it, to shipped to now I think UPS has it, but they're showing delayed. It's been, it's like,
you know
it's
what?
driving
It really
me nuts.
shouldn't be this difficult when you're buying something. I mean, it's more of a pain in the ass to go about all this stuff. You do a pre-order, you should just be able to get it. It shouldn't be delayed. It shouldn't be oversold. It's just ridiculous. It really is.
Wait, hold on. Can I? Let me just get in on this. All right. I mean, I just can't believe that people is going around and they're doing this. How many times does it take? How many times does it take to learn your lesson? All right. Arcade went up. They're gonna take that mud poop pie and
wait. Let me
smear it
stop
all
you there
over
for
your
a second.
face.
Let me stop you. You need a little bit more whine in your voice and a little bit more New York, and then try it. Let's go back to that.
All right.
Take
like,
two.
You know, I take two. Okay. I just don't understand how you people come out here pre-ordering things when you've been told by people don't pre-order because you know Arcade One Up is gonna take that big poopy pie and just throw it right in your face.
We're gonna call her Laverne from now on.
I'm officially offended by that accent, by the way.
Mud
sounded
poop pie.
like
Have
New
you
Jersey
seen?
anyway.
Have you
It was
seen?
alright.
There was like a short, and I think it was on YouTube where this kid was visiting New York, and he's like recording himself, and he's like, "I'm in New York." He's like, "I'm in New York," and he walks by this lady, and she's like, "Don't do that. That's not what we sound like." And he's like, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry." And then she walks away, and he's like, "It's New York, everybody." And she comes back and like slaps the shit.
Now I know there's a lot of people that are in these forums and stuff like Facebook group and that saying, "Listen, guys, you're grown men complaining about shipping for a toy." And I get it. But here's the thing: when you drop down $600, that's tied up in limbo, and you have no idea if you're even getting the product that you put that money down to. I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking. You know, I made a joke because I saw somebody else post it. I'm not taking credit for this, but they were like, you waited 22 years for this cabinet to be made and made available to you to own. What's another month or 2 months?
Well,
I get
that
that.
month or 2 months may never come. You may still never get it.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like,
That's-
is this kind of falling the way of the online thing from Arcade One? Because they've been really quiet. I mean, I expected to hear something like, "Hey, there's an
I
update
think-
coming."
My gut instinct tells me that there's probably something coming soon as far as the online thing. But you know, I was thinking about this, and when I pre-ordered the first Marvel vs. Capcom, I remember the shipping date getting pushed back like 2 or 3 times. But I think that was also like when COVID had just started. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, yes, but let's remember. Thanks for that sub over there on Twitch. Let's remember this though. Who told you not to pre-order from Target in the very, 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 very beginning when it first went? Because I said they're going to cancel it.
Hey,
And they
it's better to
canceled it.
have your bases covered, and then you know.
But you
cancel
always
it
say
when you
you're
get
right.
something.
This is my time to shine. I said I said this.
Yes, you said not to pre-order
Thank
from
you.
Target.
Thank you. That's all I asked for.
But you know what? Some people got their pre-orders though.
But I said to you, I said, man, this pre-order's been up for a long time. I'm like, I think they're going to oversell this and people are going to get it canceled.
Yeah.
And
no,
that's
totally.
exactly what happened.
Mhm.
But I mean, I canceled that one because I was like mad anyway.
Because you were smart.
And then Travis, you know, convinced me to not do that to myself again. So I got Best Buy, and then I was nervous about Best Buy. And then when Walmart opened up, I was like, snag. And then I canceled my Best Buy order. Although I did reach out to you and Bill and say, "Are you guys sure? Are you sure?"
You did.
Before I canceled it.
You did.
Mhm.
And for the record, she did reach out, and I was like, nah,
Yep.
because I was still on the fence. Jade, I'm not lying. I had it in my cart for 18 times. I showed her screenshots.
Yeah.
And before I finally pulled the trigger on it. So I'm blaming myself that I'm not getting it till December. But I do feel, as somebody, because they always say, oh, the content creators, when Arcade One Up sees the content creators ordered directly from them, they get them first. And that's not the case. That's not the case at all. But I feel for these guys that, you know, they're diehard, like you, Jade, they're diehard Marvel vs. Capcom 2 players, and people from the second and third wave are getting them before them. I don't think that's fair. And I know life isn't fair, but that's where I feel for them.
Oh boy! Oh, not fair! Jeez.
All I can say is Walmart.
Well, and I
FTW.
think Prince Malcolm put it in there that and Prince Malcolm, the comment got away from me. If you can bring that back, he said something about Capital One and they're incompetent. So I that was a good comment. I just didn't get a chance to pull it up because there were some other comments flying. But if you can bring that comment back and repost it, that'd be great. And we'll pull that one up. But he did make some. Rhea actually said, I only pre-ordered once from Target, and what does she say here? The Switch OLED, and that was because they were sold out everywhere else. Luckily, it fulfilled and got to. So she brings up an interesting point. You guys ever read anywhere that the guys that pre-ordered the PS5s, the Xbox Series X's, had their pre-orders canceled, or even the Switch OLEDs?
No, but haven't we talked about
Wait, what? This was during the pandemic here, so don't bring that up. She was going there, but no. Go ahead, finish your thought. But seriously though.
No, seriously though, I thought that we kind of had talked about how their allocation for units might be
Skewed?
being shifted around, or yeah.
See, I don't know what to believe, because I see a lot of people in the community and they don't know anything really. They don't know, and I don't mean that in a mean way.
We speculated that might be happening.
But somebody said that there was 6,000 units here as of that just came through customs. I saw it in the Facebook group, so it's got to be true. If they just came through customs, Glenn, how long does it take to get through customs? Like when you're getting a product from overseas, is it a couple weeks? Is it is it a month? I mean, how does it work?
It actually really depends. When you're shipping something overseas, you have to do a clearance form, and it depends. If it gets pulled, they pull some at random, and then it could sit there for a week or two sometimes. And then other times you may have to pay another fee, a dock fee, or a fee to enter the country for the product. So it's hard to say. The bigger companies have bigger shipments coming across the line. Usually that's taken care of, under the table, if you will. But if it's a one or two things, it really depends. If it gets caught, it really does. I know I get checked all the time. I have no idea why, but they seem to frisk me an awful lot.
I wouldn't know. It must be that bat that you have with the metal chain around it.
Well, I miss Lucille, but ever since Glenn brought it into the MCP and dropped it on the grid, I still haven't found it. I got this dog leash one still, and that's all I got.
All right, so Prince Malcolm did put this back in here, and this is the reason he is not a fan of Walmart. He says, you have to watch Walmart and Capital One Bank. If you have a Capital One rewards points and use it towards your A1 Up purchase, they will double charge you.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, I'm curious. Can you elaborate on that? Like we have a Walmart credit card. I personally haven't seen that, but we don't use it that often. It's more or less we use it to, we'll put groceries on it, pay it off, that kind of thing. But I'm kind of curious what he means by double charging, because that sounds like a little mishap. He
just posted something right now. If you want to pull it up.
Oh, and if you have proof, okay. Let me. I'm just waiting for my thing to catch up here. All right, he goes on to say, and you can have the proof, but they'll still charge a late fee on top of the late fee until you request to get a copy of the refund status. That's interesting.
Charges to refute it, which means you did it twice, mother, and you better get it back to me, all right?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't put an Arcade 1-Up cabinet on my Walmart credit card, so.
But I do think it's trash that when you pre-order from these companies that, and I'm actually not sure about Walmart because I never pay attention to it. But like Arcade One Up, and they fully charge you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's trash. I think that if anything, it should be held, but not actually charged until it's shipped. I mean, that's just that's garbage.
Let me ask.
That's what Best Buy. That's what Best Buy does, I believe. I think they
put a hold on it?
on my thing. Is they just put a hold on the amount, but
Okay.
it doesn't officially go through until they ship it.
Let's
Right.
do. I don't have a poll set up here, but let's do a quick survey, if you will, in the chat room for everybody here. If you pre-ordered Marvel vs. Capcom 2,
Do a
just
poll.
do a write one word in if you ordered it from Target, Best Buy, Walmart. Let's see what the consensus is. How many people ordered from Walmart? Let's just put it in there. Those that ordered, I will put up. I ordered direct from Arcade One Up. I was stupid, but that's besides the point.
Steven,
I'd
do a
be
poll.
curious to know how many people ordered from Shop Hippo, which still has had it like almost since the first pre-order, but has specifically said on the website it's not shipping till mid-December.
Which year?
But in the beginning, wasn't it like earlier than that though, when they first put up their pre-orders?
Possibly. I just know for a while now it's been saying December. And it's still there. You can buy it. You can order it now from them.
Actually, I just put a poll up. It's not like I have to sit here
Oh,
and
I couldn't
produce
tell.
while I'm doing
I
this.
couldn't tell that you were doing it. It's like,
I'm trying here.
no, it was very ninja like. Like I'm used to like, when Michael B puts up a poll in his chat, it sounds like somebody's on like a typewriter in the Resident Evil escape room.
Sorry, guys. Listen, I don't normally do polls on here, so with switching and everything, a poll is a lot easier. I made it harder for you guys. I apologize, but polls are coming in. I'll pull up those results here in a little bit, but I just think that across the board, and right now we're picking on Arcade One Up. I get that, but I've seen this issue with other companies as well. But there's one company that has done it and done it very well, even when they had problems. And I hate to say this, but it was iArcade. Jong was very transparent. Jong always told everybody, look, this is how many units are coming across on the boat. This is where these units are being allocated on. Neeglin, you remember when the iArcade first came out, and Jong was almost weekly giving an update on where those units were, the allocations, which units, if you bought a Black Series or you got whatever. He was very transparent about it.
I'll tell you where they weren't transparent
Oh,
though.
where's that? Where's that?
They weren't they weren't transparent about their monitors because they said crisp HD and it's more like crisp washout.
Oh, those there are fighting words.
Sorry.
Is it really that bad?
I mean,
On the
mine is.
iArcade, really? I didn't think mine was that bad at all.
It's like if I start to like even go like this way just a little bit, the whole screen starts to.
Oh, now we understand why you got it for $300 because the guy put a bad monitor in it.
But didn't have to put even the side artwork on. It could have been that guy.
That's what I'm thinking.
Hey, look, is there washout on the monitor?
No,
at all?
not like that. Not like I could stand off to
You
the
can ask
side.
in the chat.
I will tell you on my gold, unless they change stuff up for the gold cab, yeah, there's no washout anywhere on it.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
the
it's
original and the gold.
trash.
Mine are both fine.
Mine looks like it came from the Trash Panda factory.
No, you should probably catch some footage and let us take a look at it because is kind of weird.
I absolutely will.
That's
Maybe someone
funny.
switched out one of those Gen 1 Arcade 1-Up monitors and threw it in there.
Well, I mean, if Gen 1 arcade 1-ups were 19 inches, then yeah,
it was
because
about the size, Jade. It's just
it
about
looks
the quality.
it looks as bad. Yeah, it looks as bad.
Let me do this right quick. Let me pull up. So let me pull this up real quick so we can see the results of this poll. as it sits right now. Actually, might
That's
help
what
if
she said.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Oh, too slow on the finger trigger here.
Oh my goodness, you guys. Let me get this over here, and you can't see that. Okay. Let me work on that for a second here and get that overlaid. And until then, let's get back to the conversation at hand, and that is purchasing. I've bought. This is the first cabinet I pre-ordered. Jade, how many have you actually pre-ordered of Arcade 1-Up cabinets?
Oh my God. I think 2. I think the first MVC, this one, I feel like it might be 3, but I know for sure that it was the first one and this one I can say that I pre-ordered.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Bill?
Come on, we're buying Steven time here.
This is the first one that I've pre-ordered.
That's it?
Yep, this is it. Look, I just started getting these this year. So the other ones that I have were all ones that had come out like maybe last year, and I ordered them, most of them when they were on sale. But this one, Jade scared me, so I had to buy it.
I love literally how everyone blames me for
it is your
anything
fault.
arcade-related.
I've been saying this. Nobody seems to get this. All right, I think I've got it here. Let me pull this up here.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
It's right over
there.
right over her head, and we're gonna zoom it in a little bit just so people can see it. We're gonna cover. Actually, I should cover Glenn up. Really, is what I should do. He's in the back there. We can't put it on the TV.
He's right over my shoulder, right there.
But it looks like the majority of people.
It's off the screen.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Calm down. Wait a
second. Why are you
second.
covering my face? What about Bill?
I'm going to throw it right in the middle here.
Sure.
There.
Uh-huh.
How's that?
Thanks.
So,
yeah,
Bill, you can read. Sorry, for right now. So it looks like Walmart's got 39%, Best Buy 32%, Target 8%, and Arcade 1-Up 21%. That's almost 100% there. But Best Buy and Walmart Walmart just creeped up to 43%. Do you guys agree with? Do you agree with that? Do you think
I think that Walmart
the
was
two
the
best?
best
Are they the two best?
Yeah. I will say it doesn't surprise me that Target's the least.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Arcade 1-Up didn't get the smallest amount.
Are you trying to rub it in because I was thinking because you're buying it from the company that made the product that maybe, just maybe, you would end up a little bit closer on.
Well, no, I mean, because when the initial release, especially, I mean, nobody even got a chance to get one. It was like, I mean, I don't know. It was bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that were just not happy with it, and you guys can read all about it. We're not going to beat a dead horse here because we got a lot of other things we want to cover and we want to talk about. But I just know that this was botched. It was broken. It should have been done better. Forget the cabinet. Forget the online stuff. If people can't even get it, there has been a thought, and I'm going to throw this out there as the last little argument we have with this is there's been thought that this was done on purpose, like it was originally going to go out. People are going to start getting their cabinets, but it was done to buy Arcade 1-Up time to fix the online. Now that's conspiracy. This has just been floating around that I've seen in the community. Do you guys think that's a possibility that they told the retailers?
Why would they bother them putting them out at all to get people annoyed about the bugs that are in there? It doesn't make any sense. It would be better them to not release it at all until they had all the bugs worked out, Arcade 1-Up or not. It doesn't make real business sense to alienate some people and tick off others releasing a product that's half-baked. So I don't think it was done on purpose. I really don't. I think maybe the retailers, I've seen retailers do it before. You know, they're told not to release it for a certain date, and they still stock on the shelves, and they still sell it.
Yeah. Papa Brad says you get the loyalty of getting it dead last if you buy it directly from Arcade 1-Up. And I hate to say it, but Papa Brad, you won the internet tonight. That is the comment of the evening. Yeah, I just don't know. This whole thing is got to go down in history as one of the worst launches for a product.
I think it was an inside job. I think somebody was on the inside and they were like, let's make our stock tank.
Let's start a conspiracy theory and let's put it out there, see if it travels around the community.
Oh, no, that's bad. We're not.
So, okay, so this is what happened. Jade said they did this on purpose to see that their stock would tank. Okay, so
Fake
that's
news,
really what
people.
happened here. Well, you heard it. She just said it.
Fake
Now it's
news.
that's gonna be clipped and played in videos
Why
throughout
else
this
would
weekend.
they do something like that? You know, what? Like, it's just first they have Blitz, and then they know what's coming. They know what's coming next. I mean, you would think that at least their PR and marketing would cushion it. They would have cushioned it a little bit and tried to work out all these troublesome aspects that they've been dealing with as far as the pre-order goes.
Now you're
I mean,
speaking logically. You can't do that.
my mind is just, I mean, am I surprised? Not really, but my mind is kind of blown at this point because they're not, a tiny company anymore. So the fact that this happened is just, I mean, there's really no words for it. It's just everybody's pissed. They're irritated. They didn't get online play for MVC2 yet. And for the people who are big on that, that's a big letdown. And then, you have all the issues with people not getting their cabs on time. I mean, if I was one of the people who pre-ordered it from somewhere else and didn't have it yet, I would genuinely be pissed as well. I mean, because it's like some of these people have been, like me, have been waiting for this cab to come out for a long time. And, you're probably sitting on YouTube, clicking through different videos, watching it, your mouth is watering, and you're like, God, where's my order?
I think a lot of
So you're saying all those videos of ex-football players haven't taken your mind off of all of this?
No. Not at all.
Ex-football. Wait, what do you mean? Are you talking about Blitz?
He's talking about Blitz.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because let's face it, that's
right.
all Arcade 1-Up is putting out right now.
Right.
All the marketing is Blitz, and it's all.
Which, to be fair,
talking about how great it
is. Can we
the Hall of Famers?
Real quick, can we say something about that? Those pictures of those guys that are 6'5" and 6'6" standing next to a machine like that is not helping your marketing. I'm just saying, it's not helping. It's just not. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, they need to get like Tom Cruise in there or something.
I get why they did it, but couldn't you find somebody short? Like, get a running back. A running back's usually like 5'6". Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on there.
Wait, hold on. Can you bring up Paul's question?
Sorry. I should have brought it up because he said she.
I don't know if he's like joking around or not, but just to make this clear, just in case there's any level of confusion at all of the other Versus games have online play except MVC2. And MVC1 can't cross-play with MVC1 on the MVC2 cab unless it's an MVC2 cab cross-playing MVC1. Yeah. But just to make it clear, MVC2 is the only game that doesn't have online play as of right now.
Well, I'll tell you something else. NBC definitely has the new.
Where'd your accent go, Glenn?
NBC.
And Bo threw this out here. I appreciate this. He said it's sad that this show has higher production value than the Thursday Night Football on Amazon streaming app. I'll take that as a compliment any day, my friend.
Was that a compliment? I don't know.
It's definitely a dig against Thursday Night Football, that's for sure. But I'll take it as a compliment.
We're not good if we're making an attempt to dig. That's not right.
No, he says this is a better produced show than Thursday Night Football. Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, we should be a better produced show than Monday Night Football.
Well, we didn't get there. Oh my goodness!
But it's Thursday night.
Okay, let's switch gears here. Let's talk about how many of you guys want to talk about some pinball? pinball, like we did in the old Legends show where I always used to do that. All right, World Cup 94 today. Zen Pinball. They announced brand new. Now this is a segment that was brought on by P-Dubs. P-Dubs actually sent this link to me earlier. He's like, dude, you got to talk about this on your show tonight. So we appreciate P-Dubs sending this out. They did their pinball show. That's what it's called. Zen Pinball. They released this. We're going to show you this trailer of the play. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to World Cup 94. What a powerful shot! Unbelievable play! Incredible save! Skill. There he is! Goal! 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 Ultra goal. What a shot! It's time for the final draw! What a remarkable finish!
Hi everyone, Akos here to talk a bit more about the World Cup soccer table. As the globe gets into the World Cup fever, we are bringing you one of the hidden gems of the Williams library. Many comments on pinball sites agree on the same thing, with the review of Kerry Hardy on YouTube adding to these voices. For Americans, the theme was kind of off-putting at first. 1994 didn't have the football, or should I say soccer, buzz that is present today. All players agree though that once they got playing, this table shot itself into their top 10. This game revolves much around its main feature, the goal and the mechanical goalie in the middle of the table. You could say, is this a one-shot game? Maybe. But that shot, my friends, oh, that shot is one of the most satisfying ones you can let loose in pinball. Shooting your ball just at the perfect time to hear the game shout, "Goal!"
Goal!
is a great feeling. Another great feature is the big soccer ball that will spin and send your ball bouncing away. It is there to add a bit of randomness to your game and does not amount much to the missions of the table, but I like it anyway. It is fun to see it spin. The goal of the table is to travel to all US locations of the 1994 World Cup and finally reaching Los Angeles. Here you will face Germany in a timed World Cup final multiball to be crowned the world champion. You can advance the cities on the left spiral, getting the striker award or successfully hitting a skill shot. You can face more teams in multiball if you complete build and lock the ball. Shoot more goals than your opponent and bag the big points. We collaborated with FIFA and took the utmost care to recreate this table exactly as you might remember from live locations, right up to the FIFA markings. I personally really enjoyed this one. Hope you will too. Good luck and I wish you many successful shots.
So I don't know about any of you guys, but are you excited for this table being in the Zen library, or some of you guys are like, I mean, I know the World Cup is, I believe that, I don't follow soccer, but I believe they're doing it over the holidays this year. It's going to be televised because most people are off during the holidays. They're figuring they're going to have more viewers. Does this excite you? Is this a table that you're going to buy on your Steam account? Those of you that modded your pinball tables, are you going to get this? Thoughts?
All right,
Throw it out there.
The real question here is, Stephen,
Yes.
is how much do you enjoy playing pinball on your PC?
I don't play it on the PC. I play it on the table, but I would play this. I'm not a soccer fan or football for you UKers. I don't now. Glenn? Well, Glenn can't talk. Glenn? You playing it?
Probably not. I like playing pinball. I like my Star Wars pinball and things like that. But this one, again, I don't know. Maybe if I see it and try it out, maybe. But I don't know. It doesn't really. I'm not a big, huge soccer fan. Anytime I see someone kicking a ball, I kind of cringe a little bit.
All right, Bill. Sorry, you have to follow that one up. I apologize.
God, how do I follow that? I'm kind of the same thing. I'm not huge on playing pinball on the PC, and I'm not a big soccer person either. So it looks neat. Some of the effects on it. The pinball effects tables are always really cool for some of the like extra effects, like the little dog or whatever it was kicking the soccer ball. That stuff is kind of cool. But again, it goes back. I keep saying I really want to see the Legends pinball go down in price, because I want to pick one of those up and modify it and throw a PC on it and be able to play these on that table. That would make me more interested than playing it on.
You just got to turn back time to 2020, my friend. And it's for a lower price.
It's Epic Store only. So that's what Scott's saying. So I don't know. I'll be interested if anybody downloads it in the next couple of weeks and you get it.
I guess nobody wants to know what I think.
No, we've moved on. We've moved on from you. No, go ahead. You can give your thought. But it goes in the chat room who we actually care about what you think. Send us a video of you playing it and tell us what you think of it. All right, go ahead, Jade.
Oh, I was just kidding. It's probably a good thing you skipped me.
I saw you zoning out there for a second. So I saw you zoning. She's glazing over. You can't see it through her glasses, but I did. I saw her like drool was starting to come out the side of her mouth. She's like, "Oh God, can we get over this subject already? I have no pinball in my arcade." Look, you can see it right on the face.
If I could get a real pinball machine, which I want to, it's my goal to get a real pinball machine.
Yeah, here we go.
I want one real pinball machine, okay? I don't want to play it on Steam, okay? I would sit there with a controller or keyboard, like, I'm playing pinball.
All right, Glenn, this one's for you. This one was just sent in by P-Dubs, and I wanted to see if you know anything about this. Let me make sure that I can get this. Nothing's cooperating with me tonight as far as
I think this was P-Dub's way of saying, like, hey everybody, I just got 3 really awesome pinball machines in real life.
Well, yeah, he did.
For you peasants, play this on Steam.
He did, but what I want to show is this is from New Wave Toys. What do you know about this, Glenn? Apparently they got a huge surprise that has to do with Dragon's Lair and that topper.
Yeah, man.
Coming this week.
It's really not a topper.
Ooh.
It's a secondary screen. In the arcade, you were able to get Dragon's Lair and Space Ace with a secondary screen on top. But the Space Ace, I'm looking forward to that myself as well.
Looks like a cube.
Space Ace.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Well, it's supposed to be another TV set. That they probably dialed it up here for this, but
no, but that's good.
It is. It's a secondary
in the
tiny little screen.
arcade.
Yeah, it looks good. New Wave Toys makes good
In
items.
the
I like this stuff. I
arcade,
can't
they
wait.
had that.
My Missile Command to be coming any day now.
Yes.
Oh, hi. In the arcade.
Well, we were all being quiet and letting you talk.
They used to put like an extra viewing monitor on there because people would be playing Dragon's Lair, and so they basically there was a way to connect a TV to it because it was Laserdisc player, and then they'd put it on top so that people could see what was going on because you'd be leaning over the Dragon's Lair screen or whatever.
Right.
But and I forget what exactly it was called right now because we're on the show, so my brain's like.
It wasn't really called anything. It was just a TV set on the top. It was a TV on top. There you go. That's what it was called. TV on top.
TV on top. TV dinners, TV on top. Must be nice to be rich.
And by
can I come grab some money from the tree in your backyard? I'm not exactly sure what he's referring to. Sorry, I was reading a comment. But please elaborate. Go ahead.
I was going to say, my trees are dead in the back. I don't know what I can do about that.
Well, that's what I wanted to see.
On the Dragon's Lair and Space Ace, Jade's absolutely right. Those were 2 games that were very hard. You had to spend a lot of money. It's 50 cents a game. It was a lot of money. So if someone knew how to play the game, a lot of people would be drawn around that person and watch him play. And it's too hard to do on the one screen. They simply added a second screen on top because basically it was just composite out. So it was very easy to split the signal back then. It wasn't like you had RGB from one monitor to go off a motherboard. Just plug a splitter in the back of your laser player, bam, you have a secondary screen on top. And it wasn't really official, but people did it, and it became one of the staples of the machine.
They call it the spectator the spectator screen. That's what they're saying in the
Yeah,
chat room.
spectator screen. That's what it was, spectator screen. And I'm just looking right here, and somebody actually pulled this off on an arcade one-up. There's a YouTube video on it.
Yes, I did see a few. Does this mean, though, that they're going to reissue the Dragon's Lair for people that have missed it?
No, the Dragon's Lair and the Space Ace have HDMI out anyway. So this would be something you could buy as an add-on and put on top of your little machine and just plug in HDMI. You can go anywhere and get a small little TV set. You know, take a nice 20-inch TV set, put it on your New Wave toys right on top. That's the ultimate spectator.
Oh my goodness!
It's the ultimate way to crack it and break it.
Yeah, for real. All right, so Glenn's been tied up. Jade, you also have went and attacked Glenn this week. What is going on? What did he do to you guys?
Attacked Glenn? I didn't attack him. He came into my house with his freaking baby Cade.
Do we have footage of this?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I love embarrassing Glenn.
Let's take a look at. Let me see if I can find. Oh, here's the footage. All right, let's pull this up. Take a look at this, guys.
Glenn, what are you doing over there with the baby Cade? I told you not to put it there.
I know.
Okay, name one of your favorite consoles you play.
It's an Atari Lynx.
Well, and I guess that brings us to our next Let's Talk on one of Glenn's most beloved consoles. Okay, here we are. Ooh, look at me. I'm an Atari Lynx.
Look at me! I'm the waterboard nerd!
Ooh, I'm Atari. I name all my consoles after vicious cats. Ooh. Rawr, rawr, rawr. Well, let's see what games we have here. Ooh, Rygar, Chips Challenge, California Games, Ninja Gaiden, Hard Driving, Xenophobe, and a Game Drive. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to use this giant AC adapter since I don't have 800 AA batteries laying around. Whoa, you can actually rotate the screen? Okay, different game. Turbo Sub. Stun Runner, Rygar, Robotron, Road Blasters. How does this thing have so many arcade games? Stun Runner. They have a lot of arcade games on here. Wow, this even looks like the arcade version. I mean, that's it. We're done.
So you can play at twice the speed. Atari Lynx, the portable video arcade.
Jade. Do we know how many episodes it's supposed to be?
All right, Glenn, you need to explain what Glenn was doing at She-Line's house, because that was just, I don't know.
I don't know, man. That's why I had to tie his ass up, because he keeps stalking her. Just that simple.
Jade,
that
was just embarrassing. But the Lynx, great system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
And, I mean, Steven, you are new one to the Lynx. I mean, Jade's that's your Lynx from when you were what?
Yeah, that Lynx is 30 years old.
Well, all Lynxes are.
Oh, I see what you did.
But we were talking. I was talking to Jade. There's going to be some TLC done to that machine, because the screen can be upgraded relatively inexpensively, maybe like $100 or so, and you get a beautiful VJ style screen on there. New speaker, 'Cause I think your speaker's not doing too well, right? It's kind of dimming out on you, on yours.
Right. Yeah.
So we can bring them back to life. So, and remember, I want to say this one more time as we zoom in on my beautiful face here, that Lynx came out literally 2 months after the original Game Boy. So we're talking 1989 for a full color screen with Super Nintendo capabilities way before that came out. And so Jade over here was a smart girl and got ourselves a Link way back in the day.
Well, and the other thing that I love about the Lynx, and that was always really appealing to me, is the amount of arcade ports that it had. I mean, it was the only handheld console that you could get, arcade ported games on and actually legitimately play them like they were playable. To list off just a few: APB, Double Dragon, Hard Drivin', Hydra, Joust, Klax, Miss Pac-Man, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Land, Paperboy, Pit Fighter, Raiden, Rampage, Road Blasters, Robotron, Stun Runner, Toki, Xenophobe. I mean, that's just a handful of some of the really, really awesome arcade games that were totally and most excellently playable on a portable console. And that was very appealing to me as a kid, because, I mean, who didn't want to bring home an arcade game and play it?
And are you right-handed or left-handed? Because the Lynx also, it was ambidextrous play. You could play it right-handed or left-handed. Couldn't do it with no Game Boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys something, because I was telling the guys when we were playing the video, when I was a kid, we wanted a handheld. We wanted the Game Boy because everybody knew Nintendo, right? And my parents were like, wouldn't you rather the color? And at the time, the Lynx was out, and the Sega Game Gear just came out, and everybody at Toys R Us, any of the workers, were just like, you really don't want Atari. They really bombed on this console. There's not a lot of good games for it. And we ended up going with the Game Gear, which honestly did have a lot better games that we were familiar with, like Sonic and Chuck Rock and some of these other ones. What caused you, Jade, to get the Lynx? Because you haven't really talked about having a Sega Game Gear, not saying you didn't, but what was the reason that you went with the Lynx at the time? Because, like Glenn said, I just got mine. I actually got it for the price it cost 30 years ago today. Well, not today, but like months ago.
Well, my dad actually got it for me, I think because he wanted to play it. And at first I was like, I just want a Game Boy when like the Lynx 1 came out. So he got me the Lynx 2. And then I was like, oh, I started seeing that there's like a lot of these games, and we'd go to like these hole-in-the-wall game stores where they had a ton of Lynx games, and get them for like super cheap, usually, most of the time. But they had games like Shadow of the Beast is such an awesome game, and I think the Genesis version and the Lynx version are my favorites, and the TurboGrafx CD version. But it was to have it in your hands, and it was just so colorful and so smooth and everything. I mean, I loved it. So then, of course, like more arcade games like Stun Runner and stuff like that. I mean, you guys remember Stun Runner? You used to sit on that thing, right? And it was kind of like you drive it.
Yeah, in the arcade.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, but the quality of it was just so good. I mean, you're like, wow, how like Game Boy could never pull anything like this off. And, all those other games like APB and stuff like that. I always kind of hoped they would come out with tubing on it, but.
Oh, we got a battle here, Glenn, and I modded my Vita to have all of the TurboGrafx 16 games on, so I could have that experience of a Turbo Express. But that's one console that eludes me right now, and I really want a Turbo Express.
Turbo Express was a good console. It had the best screen out of all of them. I mean, NEC put a really good screen in there, but you paid for it. It was an expensive console. Did have a TV tuner as well, and it took the regular turbo games. Turbo chips were right in the back, so that was an advantage of the small turbo chips. But as far as the technology of the machine, the Lynx was years ahead of all of them. The chipsets that were designed for the Amiga engineers, R.J. Mitchell, was just far, far in advance. But the screen resolution and the screen itself was, it's early, late 80s, early 90s technology, and that's probably that. And honestly, we talked about it off camera. Was that Atari? Nintendo still had the lock on a lot of third parties, and that's just a fact. And Atari really couldn't draw them in, so they had to do most of the games in house. But like Jay was saying, the games are very fun and playable. So back in the day, eventually the Lynx you got it for like $70, and games really, really cheap. So that was an absolute bargain. And unlike all the other consoles, you can link up to 8 consoles in games, which was something none of the other ones could do at all.
Bill, did you have this growing up, or did you have any of the handhelds? Did they interest you at all?
I had a Game Boy. That was mine when I grew up. I kind of like you. I loved Nintendo. All my systems were Nintendo, and I just really enjoyed the Game Boy. I had a friend though who had the Lynx, and I used to love playing that whenever I would go over to his house for all those reasons, because it was the color screen, and it was a lot of fun. I think one of my favorite games on there was it California Games?
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of fun on that.
And what he just wrote there is absolutely true. The Lynx 1, I had, of course, being me, got the launch edition in New York, and the case itself was a silver underneath. It was a silver plastic, and they painted it. And if you played it too much, the paint literally just came right off on your hand. So he's right. And Lynx 2 was injected molded black, so that wasn't a problem. But that Lynx 1, beautiful thing. Step and appeal.
I'm not sure which one. Which one did I have? I forget now.
You got the 2. The 2 was the thicker one.
Okay.
The 1 was gray, and it was much bigger. I mean, it was funny. Tom Holland, not Tom Holland, Maguire.
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire was actually the original Lynx commercial in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever see that commercial, he pulls it out of his pocket, and it's like, there we go. You got it in the pocket. And you can start playing your Lynx.
So, I guess with the Game Boy, you had the games, you had that all locked in. And Jade, you did say you had the Sega Game Gear, right? Did you get it before or after the Lynx?
I think I got it after. Yeah, I got it after I had my Lynx, and that was like my parents were divorced, so I think I got it at the other house, and that's how I made that happen.
Okay.
And 2 quick things on that Game Gear. We talk about the Game Gear was really a Sega Master System portable. So again,
Right.
the Lynx technology was a Super Nintendo in a handheld, and the Sega Game Gear was a Master System in a handheld. But a lot of them are unworking. If you go on like eBay, you can get it. This doesn't work, or there's no sound. It's always the capacitors that went. So I don't say an easy fix. Not everyone can fix capacitors. But if you know someone who can, get them, because they're going to work fine. Same with the TurboGrafx Express. Same thing. The caps go bad, and then once you place those caps, you got maybe a $700 console for $100. If you get not working, someone could put the caps in there. So good consoles, good gaming consoles. The Game Boy was good. The Game Gear was okay. I have a couple of games I played on that. The Lynx was good, and obviously the TurboGrafx 16 was good. But all of them these days are going up in price.
I need to send Glenn one of my Game Gears. I have 2 of them, to put a new LCD screen in it and cap it, because I'd like to have one original where I didn't touch it. The screen still kind of works, but I would like to be able to play it with the new screen style. But having 2, I'm gonna have to send it and see what Glenn would charge to do that, because I think that's the way to go at this point. If you want to enjoy the console, otherwise it's just going to sit in like a museum state and you're never going to touch it. So,
yeah, I mean, if you're, in all honesty, like if you set the screens aside and you actually put all those systems next to each other, and you compare, like I think Double Dragon was on Game Gear as well, right? Because I know it was on Game Boy. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I have it. But if you hold them all side by side, the Lynx is always going to look graphically superior, and there's going to be more detail in everything and more color. and it's just, I mean, it's just the way it is. It's unfortunate though that they didn't get the third party support that they needed, you know. And the games that did come out, the cool thing is that you know, Atari did make a lot of good arcade games that they were able to port over to that.
So here's the poll. I put up a poll to see which handheld did you have. And you can see
no one had Turbo Express.
No one had the Turbo, and that's quite honest. I mean, I didn't have a Turbo Express. I had a Game Boy.
Though.
Well, I had a Game Boy after it was out for a while, and I had a Game Gear. Those were my two. And Lynx, like I said, I just got it a couple months ago. Glenn, actually, it was probably 6 or 8 months ago when we were doing the Retro Buzz. But Turbo Express, it's eluded me. I'm surprised nobody in the chat room here, out of 100 people watching, not one person has had that console. And you can see Game Boy's number 1. And it surprises me that Lynx is number 2.
Yeah, look at that.
That surprises me. A Atari system over a Sega system, and that's nothing against the Lynx because it's a great system.
But there was a point where Lynx became very cheap.
True.
I remember other kids at my school getting it, and I was like, "Oh my God, you have one of these too? That's so weird. I didn't think anybody else got these." But they were like, "Oh yeah, you know, it was like my mom got it for like $99 or something like that."
Yeah, they were doing that. You get a case and a couple of games for $99. It was a bargain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't allowed to get systems that were heavily discounted at the time, because I remember the what was the one from Nintendo that you had the goggles or whatever?
Oh, Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy. It was on the tip of my tongue.
$29 at Best Buy at one point.
It was
bought that
$15 at KB. $15 at KB Toys, and my parents go, "You don't want that. They're trying to get rid of it. It's not. It's garbage. It's a garbage system that never took off." And it was a couple $100 when it came out. You guys remember? If I would have gotten it, if I would have gotten it then.
And that's another thing too. A lot of those you'll get on eBay non-working,
right?
And it's basically the glue that goes to the LEDs, and it's an easy fix if you know what you're doing. And again, if you can get them, those screens are repairable fairly easily.
Greg Terry goes, "My favorite handheld, Capcom football. It was the best." Very, very cool. All right, let's see. Speaking of handhelds, you know, we've seen the Switch. We've seen all these other. Yeah, there's a lot of old farts in the chat. Goofy Foot says, "There's a very good handheld that's out called the Steam Deck, and we're going to check it with Endless One Up to see what's on deck."
What's going on, everybody? You're watching Game Time, but let's take a break and talk about what's on deck this week. King Arthur: A Knight's Tale. It's a turn-based RPG. It has amazing graphics. If you like turn-based RPGs, you want to check it out. But let's bring it up to the big board, check it out for a few seconds, and then we'll get back to Game Time. All right, we're in the game. So this is kind of like your home base / map. And then you have like the crypt. So if your character dies, this is where they go. You can train your characters. So if I wanted to like train this person, I could train them. I didn't mean to stop. I didn't mean to train them there. I hit the button by accident. We have a merchant, so you can buy stuff. We're not getting the greatest frame rate. I mean, again, this game is not currently supported, and I do think I have max settings going on right now. So we could go in here into the options and probably turn down some of these graphics. Well, it's already on low, and heck, it already looks pretty good. But let's just get into, let's show you what it looks like. So this isn't like the Sword in the Stone. That'd be pretty cool if it was. I love Merlin in that. I love how he shows up in his like little Bahama mama pajama. That's not what he's wearing.
Oh, Merlin, you're back from Bermuda? Yes.
This game is a bit choppy, as you can see. It definitely is not Steam Deck verified. Well, hey, we're getting 60 frames per second now. It already looks. It's still a little bit choppy. There's a little bit of ghosting, like you can see my sword kind of ghosts around. Let's bring me up to full screen once. All right, so we're in full screen now. Let's go ahead and find ourselves a little battle. This person has a bow and arrow, so when I move them, you know, I can still use my bow. So we have our burning arrow, so I can select the burning arrow, and then I just have to pick the person that I'm going to use it against. Yeah, it's pretty choppy. Definitely not a Steam Deck verified game yet, but I think it has potential. I mean, we're getting that dropped down to 11 frames per second. But hey, that's King Arthur. I don't know if I'd really dive down into this. It seems like even messing with our settings, and it's still kind of choppy. We had a little bit of good frame rate there for a second, but that's what happens when you play an unsupported game. You might have mixed results. But hey, thanks for watching. Let's get back to game time. Peace.
Well, Mr. Endless One Up, we appreciate you guys. If you're into Steam Deck content, make sure you head over to youtube.com/endless1up. He is, Bill, I think you said, what, 35 away?
Yeah, about I think like 39 away from 1,000. So he's right on the cusp. We got to get him over.
So if you haven't subscribed, go do that. And Jade, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if you are not subscribed to Endless One Up, you should definitely go there right now. Give him a sub. He's got great content, and he's hilarious. He's got an awesome personality. So get over there and give him a sub so he can get to 1,000.
Go ahead and talk about this too while you're up.
And also, we are trying to help out our friend Midlife Arcade, who had an unfortunate accident, which basically destroyed his garage and his gaming setup, and you can just kind of see right there. It's not pretty, and we're just trying to help him out however we can. So if you would like to help someone out or help another community member out, please head over to that link, the GoFundMe link, and all proceeds are going directly to him. So whatever you guys can do, if it's 50 cents, $1, a penny, anything will help. Anything is good.
And what we're going to do is we're going to try to talk to the other content creators and see if they can help out with this as well, and promote this and whatnot. So his singing is outrageous, but his content is great, MG said. So there you go, Endless One Up. That is a great... So next week, what we want to do is Bill put together a segment. We're kind of running out of time here. Bill put together a little segment. Bill, why don't you preface it for next week so people can start thinking about what's to come? This is going to be the big topic next week. I think a lot of people will find it interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, we know that Pilot Wings 64 just released for the Nintendo Switch. It's the latest N64 game to hit their Switch Online. And a lot of people have been talking about the fact that they actually bumped up the frame rate on this game. The original game played at 30 frames per second. This one's playing at, it looks like 60 frames per second. I think they also, upped the resolution and changed some of the textures to look a little cleaner. And also, it got me thinking, as cool as that is, as cool as it looks, is that what people want when they release these retro games? Do you want them to make these kind of changes? Quality of life, whatever you want to call it, or do you want to play them the way they were back in the day? So I think that'd be a fun topic.
Absolutely. So I think that's definitely something we want to take a look at. And Jade's holding up her Pilot Wings, the Japanese version,
because that was the first one available.
Very nice. So next week, come with your arguments, come with your defense. Do you like when these games get changed up? Another good example is NFL Blitz, and a lot of people weren't happy about that. That got changed up. Bring your arguments next week. We really want to have a good discussion about this with things getting changed up. And, I know Glenn, if he's back next week, he is not a fan of things getting remade in a sense. He likes it just like the original, right?
What about me, Glenn, though?
Me? In this lap of luxury I'm living in, it don't matter to me.
Well, either way, we'll hit that up on next week. So begin thinking. But right now, we want to thank Jade. She just hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you to the community for helping her do that. Congrats.
Yeah.
If you haven't
Thank you very
subscribed
much.
and you like modding, if you like in
And
your
thanks-
face,
Wait, let me say this, please.
you're messing up my
Please.
outro for you.
Okay,
I was feeling it.
I want to thank B Kong because he had me on his show. We were doing some scientific testing. So thank you, B Kong, for helping me because he actually just decided to be like, let's get Jade to 1,000, and that's kind of what like pushed me over that little hump. I think he got me like 60 subs like during that show. So
Can I do it now?
yeah, you're good.
Okay,
Thank you.
I just wanted to check. So if you are into modding content, I'm just not feeling it. I was there a few minutes ago. Listen, you guys can go like, she's going to tell it how it is when it comes to arcades. Like it, love it, or hate it. The content's great. Go check it out. You can follow her over on youtube.com/SheLionGaming. Actually, SheLion Gaming everywhere and anywhere on social media except for Facebook because she's just a little too prissy for that.
Okay, I'll take that.
Now we'll move on. And then we got there Wild Bill. Wild Bill's going to bring it back next week. You guys can follow him. YouTube.com says Wild Bill's Retro Gaming.
Let me do one quick plug, too, while I'm at it. If you guys have not had a chance to watch the video that I put together on all the cool crap that I bought at New York Comic Con, be sure to check it out because in that video, I am doing a giveaway. I'm making a push for 1,000 also, and I am giving away this cool...
Ooh, nice.
Shadow box, pixel art.
I think you should give the shirt away.
Yeah, I know. I'd probably get a million views on that.
Hey, a million views.
But it is actually a limited edition. They only made 500 of them for Comic-Con. So be sure to check out the video. The rules and everything are on there. If you don't want to sit through all the Comic-Con stuff, there are chapter breaks. You could just jump right to the end and find out about the contest. You won't offend me, but check it out.
Glenn, I before we do the wrap up with you, I'm really disappointed that Bill didn't get his compadres up here on the panel a T-shirt from Comic-Con. I mean, this guy. Can you believe it?
Well, I know this guy was all ticked off. He's like, he went to Comic-Con, didn't tell him about he would wear with him. He didn't even tell him. Me, I could care less. Bunch of tutti fruities running around the show with weird makeup on and hats. I don't need to go to nothing like that. No how.
Your response.
You know what
Glenn, I have 3 words for you, Glenn. Slave, Princess, Leia. That's all I'm going to say.
But if you saw in episode 8, I could pass on that.
We need that song "Hot Chocolate" or what is it? Is that Hot Chocolate or the group does "Hot Chocolate"? You sexy thing. We need to play that. We get copyright strike, but we need to play that for Bill. That's Bill's theme song.
Oh, you sexy thing, baby. Stand right there, you sexy thing.
Oh, Glenn, get it.
Oh, my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to hear more of the antics of Glenn and Glenn, you can go to youtube.com/gplanamento. And are you okay with me plugging that, even though he's tied up?
He's an idiot. That's all I got to say. He's an idiot.
Bill Decade. People can get you got to plug it for him. At least once during the show, you got to plug it for him.
I will say that ETA Prime did an awesome video on the Build-A-Cade, and so did Wagner's Tech Talk. Two guys did fantastic videos. This turd muffin.
Wait a second.
Made a video. Looked like
Tell it how it was. You threatened them with Lucille if they didn't give it a good review. Say it how it is.
Well, the thing ETA is like you. He's got a lot of guns, so.
Well, there you go.
Not too bad in there. At least we're fellow enthusiasts with that. But Wagner was good about it. Wagner was good. But this guy's video was like it's like a 3-year-old put it together. It's like, come on, man, do a video that's decent.
It's just the outro. That's all I'm gonna say. But if you guys haven't, go check out the Build-A-Cade. And guys, we really appreciate you tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. And we'll see you guys next week for more game time. We hope you had fun. I know we did. We'll see you next time.
Bye.